Hello and welcome everyone. Very happy that we are all together again. In this tutorial, we will start explaining the project that we are working on in the Revit software. So when we open the project initially, we find that this place is the working area that we will make the design at which. And on the top here, we have this toolbar, and on the left, we have those two parts. The first one is the project browser and the second one is the properties. And those two tabs are very important for us in our design as we will use them during our design. But suppose you need to hide them to work on the space area or to increase the space working area that we will work on. And for that we easily press on this X tab here. But if you need to do the inverse, which is to show them again, for that we easily go to the View tab. And then we go to the user interface. So you can see those are some options that we can hide or we can show. So any one of them has a true sign is shown, and anyone has a true sign will not be shown or it will be hidden. And for that we need the project browser as we said, and also we need the properties. So once we press on properties and the project browser, we will find that they have appeared again. Now when going again to the project browser tab, we will find that we have three main disciplines, which are the mechanical, the electrical, and the plumbing. And those are the main disciplines of the program. As from its name, it's Revit MEP, which stands for the mechanical, electrical, plumbing. So those three disciplines cannot be changed as they are the main three categories we have, but under each of them there are some sub-disciplines. For example, under the mechanical main discipline we have the HVAC discipline, and under the main plumbing discipline we have the sub-discipline, which is the plumbing sub-discipline, and so on. So the sub-main disciplines can be changed while the main disciplines cannot be changed. Alright, now when exploring the mechanical discipline, we will find that its sub-main discipline is the HVAC system. Here when selecting it, we will find that this HVAC, and under the HVAC we have the sub-branches, which are the floor of the building, the ceiling, and also the 3D sub-branch. This is in case we wanted to show our building in the 3D model. And also we have the elevation sub-branch, which is in case of we need to express our building from the elevation plan, not from the 3D model. And it's logically to find that we have three sub-branches under the elevation branch, which are the views from which we can see the building. So we can see the building from four elevation sides: the north, the south, the east, and west. And for each of those elevation views, we can see that the program provides us with two main levels. So when selecting, for example, each elevation of them, here we will find that we have two levels for that elevation. This is the east, and also when selecting the north, here we have also two levels that are the primary levels that the program provides for us, and we can change them later, but those are the default levels we have. And also the east, the same thing, and the west, the same thing. And you can note the first level here is at height 0, which means that this is the ground level, or it's the base floor level. And the second one is the 4000 level, which is the ceiling level. And this is because the program supposes that the floor you are working on has a length of 4 meters, as 4000 here is 4000 millimeters, which is 4 meters. Now let's start with the first step of our project, which is to add an architectural drawing inside the Revit. And that's logically the first step of the practical design, as our working as HVAC designers starts when the architectural designers finish their work or their architectural layout, as the specification of the dimensions and the direction of the walls and the position of the building. So all of those specifications are designed by the architect, and we are making our HVAC design according to those specifications. For example, the architect specifies the height of the suspended ceiling, as this is his decision, as the suspended ceiling may be about 60 cm or 80 cm from the main concrete ceiling. So according to those information, we start our HVAC design. And to insert the architectural CAD layout, we easily press on the Insert tab. So let's go to the Insert tab here. And then we have two group of selections that we can insert from them. The first one is the link, and the second group is the import. And the difference between them is that when we import a CAD file, for example, and we start our working on it at the Revit, in that case, if there are some changes later in the CAD file itself, the Revit file will not sense those changes, or the Revit project will not sense those changes, as we have imported the first version of the CAD file, and any other updates on this version of the CAD file itself will not be reflected on the Revit project. But on the other hand, if we link a CAD file to the Revit project, and from its name it's called link, so there is a continuous operation of connecting the CAD file with the Revit project, which means that if we made any modification on the CAD file later, those modifications will appear on the Revit project. This is because there is a continuous linking operation between both of them. So the linking is a dynamic operation between the files where there are two Revit files, or there may be a Revit file that is connected with the CAD file. So the linking is a dynamic operation between our Revit project and the CAD file, or it may be between our Revit project and another Revit file. While the importing is a distinct operation at which we import the CAD file, for example, to the Revit, and any changes at the CAD will not appear in the Revit. And for that, we will use the link option here to add our Revit file. So we will link a Revit file by pressing on Link Revit. And here it asks us for the location at which we have our Revit file. But you can notice when we press on this positioning tab here, we have many options for inserting the Revit file. Here the first group of options is the automatic inserting of the layout, which means that the layout position will be done automatically by the program, while the second group of options is for the manual inserting of the layout, which means that the coordination of the layout will be specified by yourself as the designer. And we don't recommend to choose the manual option anyway, because it may make some mistakes when you specify the layout coordinations on the X and the Y axis, for example. So if you insert the project at a specific coordination and another designer who are working on another part of the same project has inserted the layout on another coordinations with respect to the coordinations that you made, so there will be a shift on the designing between you and him, and this will be a problem. So instead of the manual insertion, we prefer the automatic insertion. And for that, we have two popular ways for insertion. The first one is the origin by origin, and the second one is the center by center. So for the origin by origin, that means the origin point of the layout that we need to link will be aligned with the origin point of the Revit software, which is this existing project that we are working on. So of its name, it's an origin that is aligned with another origin. The first origin for the Revit software and the second origin for the layout that you are inserting on the Revit software. But on the other hand, we have the other method, which is the center by center method, at which we have the center of the layout to be aligned with the center of the Revit project. So this is the Revit center, which is the middle of the Revit software designing area, and this is the center of the CAD layout, which is the center of the design itself. And both of them are aligned on each other, so for that it's called the center by center. But at conclusion, we prefer to use the origin by origin method. So let's select here to be the auto origin by origin. And the final thing is that we need to insert the file path here. So I'll press Ctrl V to insert the file path and then enter. And then this is the project that we have. So we open it and then press open. Now it's loading to open. Here the linking operation is done. So that's the project. It has been loaded here, and this is its elevation plan. So that's about the first step that we have by which we can insert the Revit project, and on the next tutorials we will continue exploring the software. Hope that's clear right now. Thank you for watching and see you next tutorials.